Okay, so oh, that's the wrong screen. The wrong thing. You can see the epic pen when I'm streaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, real time.
Okay. So this is a mistake standing here. You should be standing right here because this is not doing anything for your team. If you stand right here and they invade like this, right?
Yeah.
You can just exit through there. Boom, you prevented the mid lane invade, right? If they invade through here, as soon as they exit this bush, you see them, right? Well, no, before anybody else does, you just exit through there. Boom, you prevented the river invade, right? You're covering 2 spots, right?
Yeah.
So that's like super easy. Now let's see how you handle the first wave.
I come up pretty late to drop that ward.
So
he
don't
kinda
do
sounds
that. Yeah,
calm.
if you're too late, don't do that. This is just gonna like ruin your
Yeah.
laning phase. So let's see what you do the first wave here.
Regardless, I hit level 2 first somehow.
Yeah, because you're pushing it. So this is a mistake to push it here.
Okay.
Why is this a mistake to push it here? So never touch the wave as Orianna. Never touch the wave early on for the push unless you have level 2 kill pressure, which you basically never do, especially into TF, which, well, you have TF gold card, right? You're gonna push up. You have Lee Sin, like the most early game ganking jungler ever, right? That's like recipe for getting camped, right? So
Yeah.
instead of that, let's just leave the wave here and let's focus on what you just mentioned, like before we started here, hitting him and he goes for the CS, right? Then we can slowly burn him for HP, and then if we're gonna hit level 2 regardless first anyway, because he's gonna be low, right? And whenever he uses his card, that's when we can go in a bit deeper, right? Like go into, like, for example, right now you're in this pocket. When he uses his card, but he just did, you can move into this pocket to like take a more extended trade, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and just mindlessly pushing is obviously not going to lead to anything. So now he uses his card. Now this is where we can step up. See, like he uses his card and he instantly steps back. This is where we should step up and zone him, right? Because he has nothing now. And that's how we hit level 2 first without putting ourselves in a position where we could get ganked, right? Now what's going to happen right now? I've never seen this model. It just literally, you just played it, right? You're gonna push this, then you're gonna crash on wave 2, which means you're gonna have like 300 gold, which means you can't go for a cheater recall. You're very gankable because by that point, Lee Sin is gonna be like right here, right? Which means you can just loop around for a gank. You can't do much because you're under his turret, and then you're just like, you can't poke him because, well, you're just gonna get the gold card under the turret, right?
Right.
See, and now I guarantee you're gonna crash wave 2. Okay, so you take a trade here. This is like actually a really good trade because you're in your own wave.
It just fell off the stream.
What do you like? Did you just stop?
The video stopped.
Okay. Let me restream this. What about now?
It's good now.
You can see that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what is this? Is essentially, this is a really good trade because you're trading in your own wave. You're level 2 versus level 1. This is like a perfect trade. Obviously, don't take level 2 W first and foremost because that's way too much mana. First and foremost.
Okay.
And that doesn't give you a big shield that the other spell does, right? If you just you don't even need to hit that, right? So just, and then if you manage to hit it, it's extra damage, which the shield is more useful early on. And then you won the trade. Why are you going for this extra auto attack?
Yeah, that's true. My minions aren't in range of him, and I'm just getting hit by his melee. I should have backed up.
Yeah, you won the trade. That's it. Enough. Now you can just start zoning him. You don't need to get a kill on him, and then you just take a bunch of damage, and now you're not in such a great spot. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you didn't end up crashing wave 2, but like that's because you fought, right?
Yep.
And now you're just pushing mindlessly. Like right now, you still have the advantage because he just used the spells. You shouldn't be pushing. You should be keeping the wave here as long as possible and just getting up front so you can zone him while he has no spells. It's much more important to the threat of you being able to do something is much more greater than you actually just, I don't know, like what's the thought process behind pushing here, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty bad idea. I think I wanted to base or something.
No. There's that, so then you end up dying. Wait, where? Oh, you switched, I see. Okay, not sure what this E was about. Okay, so now you're slow pushing this, which isn't bad, but at the same time, At the same time, nobody would fault you if you try to crash here, because we know TF is in. Actually, let me just make this so then it's more fair. We know TF is in his base because we saw him back, right? And we just died. Obviously, it's gonna back. But nobody's gonna fault you if you're gonna crash here and let the wave reset, right? But slow pushing here is also fine. Like, that's fine. This is just.
I'm pretty sure that makes him lose CS and experience, right? If I
No.
just slow push it here.
I mean, no, because these minions are not gonna die. Like, maybe 1 or 2 dies. But if you hard crash, here, these minions are gonna die to the turret, right?
Yeah. I feel like he'd get back in time to like catch it.
If you just hard push from, okay, we can just go back here. Okay, so let's see here. And you just, if you just hard shove this all the way down. If you just shove this, we can. He's still just leaving the base.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if he gets back in time to crash it, right? That's fine, because then we have all the prior, which means we can actually move or get deep wards. We can do something with our jungler. We can win a skirmish that potentially could be caused by like a, I don't know, like the junglers meeting, like they're about to do, right?
Yep.
But now, because, like, slow pushing is also fine because you just keep the wave in a stalemate. But now see, he didn't lose anything. He just he just gained everything here. And now, because you slow push there, when we knew he backed, like we knew that, right? Let me make this.
Yep.
We knew he backed, so we should have hard shove here. It was because we slow push there, right? Now what that gives to him is essentially all these minions. If he wanted to, he could just set them up here, and then he can have a freeze or a slow push of his own, and then you're zoned out of your CS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so slow pushing in that particular instance isn't good. It's not bad, but there's definitely a better choice to do the other decision. So that fight, I just casual fight, there's not much to talk about that. You get back. Now here slow pushing is good, because he backed earlier, right?
Yeah.
He's coming out now of his base now. So slow pushing here is good, because you see this, there's already the cannon minion here, not on the second wave. And then, you know, you can just slow push, and now because there's a cannon minion here, he's, see how many minions he's denying for it. He killed one, now he's about to kill a second one. If he makes it in time.
I think I did slow push that skirmish. Yeah, that vision I planted made me see that Lee Sin was like on the side. So
that's good.
Sides after you tried to regank.
That's good, that's good. Okay, so this is good. You don't need to do this. You could have just let the wave sit there. So if the wave just sits there, right? What that does for you is essentially it stalemates this wave to be stuck here, which means for TF to farm, he has to come up here. Lee Sin has no way of ganking you, and you can just wait out till the next wave arrives, right? With those 3 extra minions.
I left 1 minion.
One minion is not exactly enough, because right now, see, like now it's just gonna set up a slow push, not a freeze. See, the minions,
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. You need at least 2 or 3, preferably you need 4, but like 2 or 3 is still enough for in mid lane.
Get to gank off, I slow push.
Okay, when he gets a gank off like that, don't slow push into TF. You need to crash this because you need to crash this because you can either get a plate, B, you can get a plate, B, deny him CS, C, you force him to come back into lane. He's not allowed to do this back here. Which, by the way, you're seeing that he's backing, which means you should 100% be shoving this, because you know he's gonna back, which means you have enough time to shove here. But you're gonna deny way more there, and you're gonna gain way more by just getting this, if you know he's backing, which we saw on the map that he was backing. This is on blue side, Fog of War. Like, yeah, we're denying him a couple CS, but now he's gonna catch a big wave, because these minions are gonna come in, right? See, he comes in and catches it.
Yep. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Slow pushing for mid lane is a bit more different than it is for like a top lane, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's easier to fucking get to the lane quicker, maybe? It gets to the lane quicker. So it's
yeah, and then the lane is smaller, so you can crash easier, yeah? Then never do this where you end up fighting somebody when they just backed. Because they cashed out their gold, which means they're strong. You haven't cashed out yours, which means you're carrying around 1,000 gold, which means you actually have 1.5k. He has 3k, so he's twice as strong as you because he cashed out his gold, right? This is the total gold, this is how much you have in your inventory, right? So he's already ahead, and then he cashed out, right? While you're behind and you haven't cashed out, so you're like super far behind. And obviously, mana, HP, all that, right? Base position. So you should never take that fight.
Yeah, it made sense why I died there.
Okay. So I'm gonna rewind a bit here. So here, you saw Lee Sin here, right? On the dragon.
Yep.
They just pinged you, and you shouldn't be here because this is like prime position for ganking. When they're taking dragon and they get off dragon, and you don't see where they are, you should never be in mid lane. You should just go back to your turret. It's okay to lose the gold and XP from the wave, but not die to this, right? Which is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't even bother flashing because I was just dead.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's move on from that. Okay, let me rewind here, baby. Okay, don't ever do this. Let's see what happens. You come into the lane and you just go back. Sacrifice this so you can't get the dove, you can't die and miss more. Just go back when you're like this. Because if I'm playing the TF right now, I'm just literally coming through and just diving you. Like, that's what I would do. I don't care like how good you are at the game, I would just come and dive you. So you end up missing that anyways. But you have to walk back to base way later, which means you're gonna miss more, and that allows TF to do more, right? Like, see, you're gonna miss this now. You wouldn't have missed this because the cannon wave, right? If you just backed sooner. Like, you see how long it takes cannon to get killed, but you refuse to back sooner. You backed like way later.
Yeah. Yeah, this is poor positioning. I just played this.
Yeah, this is just. As a mid laner, you should never be up here. Ever. When your team is taking Dragon. I mean, Herald. Or even Dragon. Like, you should never be up here, right? Like.
Bad decision.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb is to always have somebody in front of you when you're playing a backline mage. You should leave here. You shouldn't even attempt to fight this because you're like. Anything. Obviously, we know Darius doesn't have flash. I'm not sure if you know that in game, but like. A Darius flash, a Lee thingy, whatever it's called. What is that called? Fuck, the ward hop, the Q, all that, like, anything coming onto you here now is just you dying, 100%. So there is no reason why you should be right here right now. You're not contributing anything. You should have been B, reset, and went bot. I guess Ezreal is still bot, so then would have went mid, right? Because Ezreal was... There's no reason why you should be here when you're this low. You're like just basically a walking 300 gold. This is just basic greed, that's what it is. And, I mean...
Yeah, you gotta win.
Okay, so then you come in and you're starting... Now, this is where you would slow push. Because we know TF doesn't have an ulti. We can slow push to avoid getting ganked or anything like that. We can't do anything on the map, so we don't need to hard shove, right? We just need to slow push and then just wait for TF and see what his next move is, right? Now we just hard shove and give it all this wave up, and now if we wanted to stay in lane, we'd have to be up here, right? Because we hard shove there. We didn't need to do that, right?
I don't think I needed to be up there. Is that what you mean?
No, you didn't need to hard shove this wave that was here. You needed to slow push this. Because TF doesn't have an ulti, which means you don't need to keep him in lane, right? We're not strong enough to be up there. There's no reason to be up there anyways, right?
Yeah, so I think that's why I just backed off and...
Yeah, but if you just slow pushed, you could have kept the wave right here. And would have gotten many more resources and draw TF out to here. Which means he's able to get ganked by Zac, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So obviously TF dies here. So you move. Just go and push mid, hard shove mid now because TF doesn't have a summoner spells, right? Should push more here because like you should get as much as possible here. There is no reason you shouldn't be getting as much as possible because we know TF is still dead. You could have had one more wave. Anybody coming? Yeah, go on.
I saw Darius coming, so I decided to just back.
Yeah, but how does Darius access you from here to here? We're obviously gonna see him cut past through here. Then we can just exit.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had ghost or not.
I mean, but even if he has ghost, there's no way he can access you from. Like we see him right here, right?
Yeah.
When we see him, we take 3 more minions, and then we're gonna see him again right here, right? And when he's right here, we're right here. Even if he has ghost, you can just run here, and then just avoid him. Like just literally run here and start backing like right here, or start backing like right here. There's so many back spots, right? Where he's not gonna get in 8 seconds with Ghost because he has so many angles to check, right?
Yeah.
So now, you shouldn't... Okay, so first and foremost, you shouldn't be mid right now. Because right now you should be on the sideline because ADC is coming mid. There is much more gold to gain on sideline. There's nothing you can do here because your team is too far behind, and overall, you're too far behind to actually make a difference. So you can't win the 5v5 if it does happen, right? So what do you provide here? You should just be getting gold in bot side, right? You should have moved, gotten Krugs, and then the bot, right?
Yep.
And obviously you end up...
I don't know why he did that, to be fair.
I mean, that's just bad positioning, to be honest. Okay, so again, you shouldn't be mid right now, you should be on the side lane. Wait, why do you have a Singe support and you didn't dodge?
I already used my dodges, they wouldn't let me play mid. So I had like a... If I dodged again, I think I had like a...
Depends on when you dodged.
I dodged the same hour.
Then probably wouldn't have the 30-minute wait time, yes. But it's more worth it than playing with this, right? I mean, that's good, but now you're going back to mid. There's no reason you should be mid, you should be on the side lane. Preferably this one, because that's obviously pushed up, right? Like right now you're just sharing XP. All you're doing is just sharing XP with your allies. So you're not actually gaining anything. Okay, so you're back, and now you're going for Dragon, which is fine. I don't know why you're coming up there. Okay, so let's rewind that just slightly. So, Zago is into 5 people. You're coming up to help him, I guess. Dragon dies. What are you fighting over now? Why not just turn back and go? Why even try to help him when he's in the middle of 5 people?
Because I feel like my whole team's trying to go in. I want to make it easier for them to go in. I think I was trying to ult here.
Okay,
Them, so
okay, let me ask you this, okay? 5v5 fight, does your team win it?
No.
Right now. So why are you fighting? Now the next question is, 4v5, does your team win it? You have the 4.
No.
No, because this guy's, like, he's useless, he's gonzo, right? Then a 4v5 where your team is split. 1 member, 2 members there. Or there's a 3 there, 2 there. And where's Fiora even?
No, we don't win that.
Yeah, you don't win that, right? And what are you fighting over? Dragon is gone. Yeah, so you're fighting over like nothing. Okay, so let's see what your next decision is. So you're mid here, and I would not be mid. I would be top. There is no reason you should be mid post like 15 minutes when you could be on the sideline. When like there's nothing. Like all you're doing is just sharing XP with everybody else. Like woo, we're sharing XP, so I'm putting myself further behind when I could be getting back into the game by getting gold and XP alone, right? Yeah. That's just poor positioning. You're gonna run into somebody here? No? Okay, no. Okay, you should just back here so you can reset. There's no reason. Okay. Don't go this far to back. Just actually, yeah, that's fine. Never mind. That's not bad. You should back. You shouldn't stay. You should back. Okay, so you're back. Where do you end up now? And we're back to mid. I mean, this time it's bad to be mid, not because you're sharing XP, but because look how far up you are.
Yeah, we had like no vision. That was pretty bad. Even
if you did have vision, they have a Twisted Fate, an Ashe ulti. They have a Darius that could potentially have Ghost, right? Like a Karma who makes everything speedy as fuck, and then obviously you still don't have vision, and you're just this far up. You should be slaying jungle camps if they were up, and if they're not, you're just waiting for the wave to arrive. That's the most you can do because side lanes were taken, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, look how far up you are for no reason. There is no reason you should be this far up. There's no reason you shouldn't be in the middle because, well, sharing XP, right? And even if you were alone here, there's no reason to ever be this far up. Look how far up you are, and obviously get punished for it, right?
Yeah.
That means they get. Okay, not sure what this is. Don't ever do this where you're just TPing in alone and trying to stop a Baron alone. Like, wouldn't just walking be better because you needed your team to arrive? not be there by yourself. And I assume this is gonna be a poor positioning mistake again. Like, I'm just gonna assume at this point. Just leave now, there's nothing you provide here. You use your abilities, you're low, anything can kill you, literally anything. Okay, if we're low and even if we have abilities, even if we're low and we don't have abilities, we 100% just leave as soon as we can, because there's nothing we provide in that fight, not even a health bar, right? We're just literally a minion.
Yeah.
So they get Baron of that. Again, look how far up you are, you're sharing XP with the Singed, all the jungle camps are up, which means you could have taken them, gotten solo XP, solo gold, no risk of dying, then potentially this lane was gonna push in, but obviously Fiora was gonna grab it, so we have to wait for this. So what I would have done, instead of what you did, I would have went here, taken this, then taken Wolves, taken Gromp, and then ended up with top lane when top lane is right here, clear top lane, back, got an item. That's what I would have done. Like, getting gold is way more important than whatever is going on here, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is good because you waited for the wave to arrive. You could have pulled the wave even further back. You could have pulled it to here, which would have been amazing, right? But here is better than being up here, right?
Yeah.
So we clear this. Okay, I mean, this is okay. We now just fall back because nobody's in front of you. You walked into a melee range. You don't need to be in melee range, right?
Yeah.
And you almost die. As soon as you did that play was okay, but as soon as you did it, you just need to fall back and let your team handle the rest, and you just stay on the edge of your range. Now you're back, at least it didn't. Okay, so... And the game is over, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Now, do you have any questions?
So for when should I slow push, really?
You should slow push at all times if you can't shove this into mid lane. Wait 1 sec. You should slow push at all times because it doesn't. It means you can't get ganked as easy, right? You can deny CS by just letting them die, right? But if you need prior, aka it's 315 up there or close to 315, you need to hard chop for prior so you can fight for scuttle, right?
Scuttle.
Yeah. If you need prior because your jungler isn't ready, you need to hard chop. If the enemy mid laner just backed, you need to hard chop because you can get played and you can crash it and make him deny him even more. If you can roam, you need to hard push because, well, if you roam, you're gonna end up in a really good spot in the game, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. Now, next thing is about slow pushing and hard pushing. Fuck, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, and when you're playing into TF, hard pushing post 6 is almost necessary because of his ulti. Because, well, you don't want him to leave the lane, right? So if he has his ulti up, you might want to hard push it, not slow push it. Unless you know you're gonna get ganked and die, right?
Right.
Any other questions?
I think I'm starting to learn all the wave manipulation.
Okay, do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
All the wave manipulation is nice and all that stuff, but I would just focus on the basics, like keeping your position. Like wave, you can have a bit of a wave manipulation here and there. You can like do like a bit of slow push, hard push, all that, right? Freezing, but like that's not what's gonna make you climb out of this elo because you don't need that up until like plat plus. Like nobody uses it at all, and it's like kind of useless for you because your team doesn't know how to play around you manipulating the wave. You don't know how to deal with the fact that you manipulate the wave well. I would just focus on A, keeping your positioning well in teamfights so you can like do as much damage as possible without dying, right? B, grabbing as much gold as possible too. So like grabbing the side lanes. With gold comes XP, right? Because you're trying to get solo XP, grabbing as much gold and XP so you can get ahead and you can carry fights by yourself, right?
Yeah.
That and And obviously you clear the side lanes, which means you're creating pressure. If you just go up, clear the side lane, and it just pushes by itself, it means they have to send somebody to go get that gold, or they're gonna lose all their gold, and it's gonna like slowly chip down on their towers, right?
Yeah.
Then 2 more things I would learn is trading in lanes. Like just be trying to always zone and be trying to like always be dominant and asserting your dominance. And jungle tracking. That's literally what you need in this elo to like consistently climb, because if you can consistently get ahead, you're gonna and keep you in, and you're positioning well in fights, you're getting ahead by trading well in lane, zoning the enemy mid laner, right? Obviously wave manipulation helps with that like immensely, but like that's not something that like needs to be your main focus, right? You're not dope, or you're not trying to play into like a good player that knows like how what he needs to do to when you're manipulating the wave this way, right? So like these people won't bother with you, like they won't answer into your plays at all when you're manipulating the wave, right?
Yeah.
So I would focus on trading and zoning and all that, so you can gain an advantage, and then I would focus on keeping and building that advantage further by roaming. This is still in laning phase. Roaming is really important, really easy to get like ahead with in mid lane, but just roaming and like finding good roams, like just shove in and roam, right?
Usually that's all I do. Usually I just shove the wave and I look for a gank. Usually it's like a fast shove, and then
yeah, that's good. Obviously you don't want to gank if it's like if you have like a Vayne ADC against Draven, because that's just gonna be like
hard.
Yeah, that's you're gonna lose a 2v3 essentially, right? But besides that, yeah, that's good. You should go for those roams, keep building those leads, and then after the laning phase, after like level 9. One sec, let me change the color here. I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, there it is. After like level 9 and stuff, right? When you can go get those silence, just get those silence, so you can keep building that lead. If you're like level 15 and everybody else is like level 12, like how are they gonna counter you?
They just can't.
Exactly. You just go in there, and then obviously that's where the positioning comes in. Position in teamfights, you're gonna dish out damage, you're gonna be unkillable, and you're gonna win everything, right? Like thinking about like advanced wave manipulation is gonna help you further down the line, but right now you're just gonna like confuse yourself. Like I'm gonna just be real here.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm starting to learn it, but I'll just like straight up work on all the.
If you have any questions, just always message me. I'll just answer whatever it is. So, like, just have a question about it. Doesn't cost anything, right? Besides that, just keep learning and keep improving.
Got it. For positioning, you said as a control mage, always stay like in the back line, like behind.
Yeah, like a good rule of thumb is to always have somebody in front of you, so they can tank the Lee Sin Q, the gold cards, the Darius running at you, the Ash Arrow, all that, right? And they can engage. You're not supposed to be the engager. You're supposed to be the follow up.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
Not at the moment. Well, I wrote some shit down actually, like the other day. Let me see what
they were.
Say Orianna or Syndra versus Vlad.
Yeah.
Control. Should I punish like every last hit, even though like he out sustains me, or like, every poke I deal he could just heal?
Yeah, you should punish him in the sense that when he's auto attacking a minion, you can just auto him once or Q him once, because he can't return the damage at that moment, right? Because he's in an animation, right? And even if he can out sustain you, we're forcing him to use a sustain to get stuff back, right?
Right.
So punishing is against Vlad is good, because even if we manage to take away 40% of TF's HP, but instead we take away 20% of Vlad's because of his sustain, right?
Yeah.
That's still like giving us more room to work with, right? We can slowly get to where we would need to be, right?
Makes sense.
Which is like for Cinder, it's like 60% for lethal, I think, 60 to 55% for lethal. You know what lethal is, right? Like,
what do you mean?
Lethal is like killing them. Lethal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then for what was the other one you said? Orianna, or was it not?
It's just in a control mage and.
Yeah, so like 40%, like general idea for a lethal for like any control mage, like Orianna, Nivea, all that, right?
Yeah.
So like that's where we need to be, like that's their HP about it. It needs to be at like that percentage for us to have lethal on them in Aria, and Syndra has like 60% for most champs. So that's where we're trying to get, like slowly get to that lethal. We're not playing to kill at them right now. We're playing to kill them in the long run.
So, since low elo, junglers have like no set path. Like they don't know like how to path, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just like straight up ward their jungler and ward their jungle and try to like track them
Yes.
that way?
Yeah, ward their jungler and look at what's up. Like, they're gonna go for buffs, red, blue, right? They're gonna go
Yeah.
for dragons, that's whatever they're focused on, and they're gonna go for whatever lane is pushed up. So you can just use that plus ward, right? And lane state. That's what they can
Sure.
read. State of the lane, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think that was all I had.